The world doesn't reward kindness. It rewards calculation. You might believe that being good guarantees good outcomes, but history disagrees. Machiavelli, one of the most misunderstood minds in human history, wrote that it's better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. That line wasn't born from cruelty. It was born from truth, because the world is a battlefield disguised as a marketplace. Every handshake hides a power dynamic. Every friendship hides leverage. And every success story hides the ruthless lessons someone learned the hard way. Most people move through life blind, controlled by emotions, attachments, and illusions of fairness. But a rare few, wake up. They stop playing nice in a rigged game. They stop reacting and start calculating. That's what this is about. The 9 ruthless lessons that make you dangerously smart. Not book smart, not academically clever, but strategically intelligent, the kind of intelligence that sees through lies, manipulations, and masks. Before we begin, remember this. Power itself isn't evil. It simply reveals who you are. So use these lessons not to harm others, but to ensure no one ever harms you again. Lesson 1. The mask of perception. Machiavelli once said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few know what you really are." He understood something most people never grasp. Reality is filtered through perception. People don't deal with truth. They deal with what they believe to be true. The world isn't governed by facts. It's governed by appearances. That's why kings wore crowns, generals wore medals, and modern leaders wear confidence like armor. The image comes first. The substance is secondary. If you want to be dangerously smart, stop trying to convince people of your worth through words. Instead, engineer how they perceive you. Dress, speak, and act with intentionality. You don't need to tell people you're capable. You let your silence, your posture, your precision speak for you. Here's the paradox. The more you explain yourself, the less credible you seem. Power is quiet. The wolf doesn't announce it's a predator. It simply moves, and the forest goes silent. So remember this. Your reputation will open doors long before your explanations ever do. Master perception, and the world will follow the image you design. Lesson 2. Strategic morality. We live in a culture obsessed with appearing good, not actually doing good. Machiavelli shattered that illusion centuries ago when he wrote, "A wise ruler must learn how not to be good, and use it or not use it according to necessity." To modern ears, that sounds sinister, but it's not. It's realistic. There are moments when moral purity leads to ruin, when being overly honest costs you an opportunity, when being too kind empowers those who exploit kindness. Strategic morality means you don't throw away your values. You wield them like tools. You know when to be soft and when to be steel. You help, but never at the cost of your self-respect. You forgive, but never forget patterns. Think of it this way. Morality is the compass. Strategy is the map. Without both, you're lost. Sometimes protecting the greater good requires making hard decisions, ones that others might misinterpret. And that's fine, because those who lead can't always afford the luxury of being liked. The goal isn't to be cruel, it's to be effective. To serve justice when kindness fails. To defend peace when others provoke chaos. This isn't about becoming heartless. It's about learning to use your heart wisely. Lesson 4. The power of calculated silence. Words are cheap. Every time you speak, you give away fragments of your mind, your plans, emotions, weaknesses. That's why the most powerful people talk less and observe more. Machiavelli knew that silence was the language of power. When everyone rushes to fill the air with opinions, the one who waits, the one who listens, becomes the most dangerous voice in the room. Silence does 3 things. First, it makes others uncomfortable, causing them to reveal more than they intend. Second, it projects confidence, because only those secure in themselves can resist the urge to fill every silence. And third, it builds anticipation. When you finally speak, your words carry the gravity of thunder after long, quiet skies. Try this experiment. In your next heated conversation, pause before you respond. Don't rush to defend yourself. Just look. Watch how the other person scrambles to interpret your silence. In that moment, you'll feel it. Control. Machiavelli understood that power isn't about domination. It's about psychological rhythm. The person who controls the pace of interaction controls the outcome. So say less, mean more. Let silence do your talking. Lesson 5. Detachment from outcomes. The more you need something, the more it controls you. Machiavelli understood that desperation blinds even the cleverest minds. He advised rulers to keep distance from what they desire, not because desire is bad, but because attachment makes you vulnerable. When you become desperate for approval, love, or success, you stop being strategic. You become reactive. And in that moment, you lose leverage.
Detachment doesn't mean not caring. It means caring without being owned by the outcome. It's the confidence of knowing, if this fails, I will adapt. If this ends, I will rebuild. Here's the paradox. The less you cling, the more you attract. People respect those who can walk away. They trust those who are not enslaved by fear or need. You can practice this in small ways. When a deal falls through, don't panic. When someone rejects you, don't chase. Each time you hold your composure, you reinforce your internal power. Machiavelli said it best. He who becomes master of fortune must be prepared to change with the times. Detachment gives you flexibility, and flexibility keeps you untouchable. Lesson 6. The weapon of observation. Knowledge isn't gathered through talking, it's gathered through watching. Machiavelli built his brilliance not by commanding armies, but by studying human behavior. He watched patterns, how ambition rises, how power corrupts, how loyalty shifts when pressure mounts. He realized that people are predictable in their unpredictability. Given time, fear, and temptation, they reveal themselves. Your job is to notice. Observation makes you a silent strategist. You start to see connections others miss. Who truly holds influence in a room? Who fears exposure? Who craves validation? And when you know what drives someone, you know how to move them. To observe effectively, detach your ego. Don't judge, just record. Every word, every pause, every inconsistency, these are clues. Most people are open books written in invisible ink. Observation is the light that makes the ink appear. When you watch more than you speak, you begin to understand how the world really operates, not through fairness or justice, but through incentives, fears, and perception. That knowledge alone separates the manipulators from the manipulated. Lesson 7. The currency of information. In Machiavelli's world, information was more powerful than money, armies, or titles. It still is. Every rumor, confession, or secret is a form of currency. The more you hold, the richer you are, not financially, but strategically. But like money, information must be managed carefully. Spend it too soon, and it loses value. Hoard it too long, and it stagnates. The key is timing. Dangerously smart people know when to speak, and more importantly, when to leak. A small piece of truth released at the right moment can shift alliances, expose hidden motives, or open opportunities. But here's the moral boundary. Never use information to destroy the innocent. Use it to protect yourself, to reveal deception, or to bring balance to power. Remember that information without ethics becomes corruption. Information guided by principle becomes wisdom. In every room, ask yourself, who knows what? Who hides what? Who benefits from silence? When you start seeing those dynamics, you'll realize most power games aren't played with fists or weapons. They're played with words, timing, and secrets. Handle information like a blade, sharp enough to defend you, controlled enough not to cut yourself. Lesson 8. The Illusion of Friendship. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly, covetous." He wasn't cynical, he was honest. In politics and life, loyalty often lasts only as long as benefit does. When circumstances change, so do alliances. That doesn't mean everyone is treacherous. It means human nature is self-preserving. Dangerously smart people accept this reality instead of resenting it. They build alliances based on aligned interests, not blind trust. They know that trust is not a gift, it's a calculation. You can still care about people deeply. You can still form genuine bonds, but you must also stay aware that people's motivations evolve. When you stop expecting permanent loyalty, betrayal stops surprising you. Machiavelli advised rulers to reward loyalty, but never depend solely on it. In modern terms, appreciate relationships, but maintain independence. Never give anyone the power to destroy you by assuming they never will. When you understand that loyalty and self-interest coexist, you stop being naive and start being strategic. Lesson 9. The Power of Strategic Adaptation. If there's one principle that defines Machiavellian brilliance, it's adaptability. He wrote, "Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times." Adaptability is not betrayal, it's evolution. The world changes faster than loyalty, tradition, or emotion can keep up. The person who clings to one identity, one strategy, or one worldview eventually becomes obsolete. Dangerously smart people reinvent themselves constantly. They learn new skills, adjust to new environments, and reframe their thinking without losing their core principles. They move like water, flexible but unstoppable. Think of a chameleon. It doesn't change color out of fear. It changes to survive. You must be the same. Your adaptability is your armor. Don't let pride make you rigid. Don't let comfort make you lazy. The moment you believe you figured out the world is the moment the world evolves past you. Adaptability isn't about faking who you are. It's about expanding who you can be. Machiavelli understood that survival isn't given to the strongest or the kindest. It's given to the most responsive. Be that person, the one who evolves faster than the storm chasing them. The unspoken rule: power with purpose. All these lessons, control, strategy, detachment, can be dangerous in the wrong hands. That's why Machiavelli's name became synonymous with manipulation. But if you read his work deeply, you realize he wasn't teaching evil. He was teaching survival. Because a world full of predators punishes those who stay naive. Machiavelli simply handed humanity the mirror, and most people didn't like their reflection. To be dangerously smart doesn't mean to be dark. It means to be aware. To see how power operates so you can navigate it without losing your integrity. To understand manipulation so you can defend against it. To use strategy not to dominate, but to design a better outcome. Every ruthless lesson has an ethical twin: perception,
balanced with authenticity. Morality, balanced with pragmatism. Silence, balanced with empathy. Detachment, balanced with humanity. Master the balance, and you'll rise above both victims and villains. That's where true intelligence lives, not in extremes, but in precision. You've just walked through the shadows that most people avoid, the world of ruthless wisdom. But remember this, knowing the dark doesn't make you dark, it makes you prepared. Machiavelli never told people to become monsters. He warned them that monsters already exist, hidden behind smiles, promises, and illusions of virtue. He simply handed humanity the mirror, and most people didn't like their reflection. To be dangerously smart doesn't mean to be dark. It means to be aware, to see how power operates so you can navigate it without losing your integrity, to understand manipulation so you can defend against it, to use strategy not to dominate, but to design a better outcome. Every ruthless lesson has an ethical twin: perception, balanced with authenticity; morality, balanced with pragmatism; silence, balanced with empathy; detachment, balanced with humanity. Master the balance, and you'll rise above both victims and villains. That's where true intelligence lives, not in extremes, but in precision. You've just walked through the shadows that most people avoid, the world of ruthless wisdom. But remember this, knowing the dark doesn't make you dark, it makes you prepared. Machiavelli never told people to become monsters. He warned them that monsters already exist, hidden behind smiles,